So after 6 months, they have a month to get out of the 7th month. Very important. The monies earned may not be held against their welfare, disability, veterans payments, anything else. So when they're qualifying for their low-income housing. 2, or any of the other benefits. It can't be saying, well, you made this much money, so we're extracting this from your check. It doesn't work like this. This is above and beyond Social Security, disability, whatever the case might be. 2, normal taxation applies. What is the status? When you get that money, that $20,800 after a couple of years or whatever, you're going to lose some money on taxes. You're going to need that other 6 months just to make up for that. Multiple family members are allowed, but only after everybody else that's on the waiting list, on an address-to-address kind of basis, just like they do with college, has had an opportunity to get in, so at least one member of each family is involved before a second family member gets involved. There is no overtime pay. None. We're talking agricultural work. We're paying you to clean up your yards in the hood. I mean, come on. So no overtime pay, and if you fail to meet the expectations, you do not get your pay. You will be given quotas of production, certain things you've got to do to get the job done from the ETC. The residential PALS manager will be in charge, will pass it on to the PALS, will get those hoods looking nice, get them graffiti off the wall. We understand tagging, but tag them with some zinnas or some marigolds or who knows, you get the idea. Make that yard sweet. So that's what's going on here. I want to correct that. You want to be tagging them with some tomatoes and some cucumbers and stuff, because the idea is for the plants and stuff that you grow to actually be edible too. And although I understand zinnas are. Okay, federal government, Operation Clean House, TOTS, environmental reclamation. Environmental reclamation administrative TOTS, 1,882,968.75, which is 0.5%. Administration for the ETC on the project is $5,600,000, and it looks like $78,906.25, or 1.5%. Now, this money, under the direction of the ETC, very important. USDOE, United States Department of Energy, you will yield to the plans of the ETC. They're going to tell you how they want things done on the big scope of things. But this is your project. You're talking about cleaning up atomic disasters, starting with Washington State's Hanford site and Tennessee's Oak Ridge site, the waters around it. It's called CAD, Cleaning Up Atomic Disasters. $120,510,000, 32% of that budget going right there. Next, number 6, Saving Our Waters. What's happened here is that the windmill program is now gone, which was where CAD ended up at. The solar program is now gone because they're both becoming part of TESS. So now we're transferring it to Save Our Waters. Like I said before, we didn't really lose those jobs now, did we? So we're really at about $3.1 million a year, but I'm sandbagging it. So anyway, you got another $120,510,000, 32% of that budget, 32% of that 10% that is going to Saving Our Waters. What you're going to do here. Here's your hiring protocols. It sounds familiar to you if you've been watching this. A, $15 an hour for people not owing any student loans. Goes to them. B, $20 per hour people owing student loans, but half of their money goes to the loan holder. C, the Job Corps kids. The ones that are students are making $12.50 an hour as students. The ones that are graduates are making $15 an hour. I did not crunch out the amount of jobs we're creating. We did this before. Basically, the idea is you realize that when we're all said and done, we're going to make over 600,000 jobs in just these small little areas, all adding up. Add it to the 2 million Flips employees and the 500,000 prostitutes out there, you're over 3 million jobs. Okay, matter of fact, you're over 3.1 million. Housing, food, the 10%, the usual yada yada, it comes into 10%, yep, 1,807,650. Well, let's go back to $12.50 an hour. There's actually 9,038,250 in the pot for that. For those making 15, the job graduates, there's 7,230,600 for you to help save our waters once again. Housing and food for those who are students, not the graduates, for the students only. They're generally 16 to 17 years young, and they're on the approval of the center director, because this is jobbies. $1,807,650 to house and feed them, etc., etc. Now, for building materials and things like that, we can't get jobs done if we don't have them. And building industry, I hope you've been paying attention to this. I'm actually assuring that billions are being dumped in building. Dig it, $54,229,500. 45% of that 32% budget for saving our waters is going right towards materials that the ETC is going to need, that these people are going to need to get the job done, and then another $6,025,500, or 0.5%, looks like 5% actually, will go to the ETC so that they can buy private lands adjacent to the public lands. Once again, public lands, we're using your public lands. You're not going to sit around and wait in committee for all this. We know the ETC is about the most environmentally responsible they get out there. So Environmentalist Sierra Club, if you want to sue the ETC, you can't. Not under this law. Not under TAP you can't. Under TAP you're told to stand back. At any rate, you get the idea. We're getting the waters cleaned up, we're getting the nuclear problem cleaned up, and this is just the beginning of environmental reclamation. Let's continue. Okay, we're still on TOTS here. Federal government fund, we're actually a little bit beyond that. What I wanted to throw out here is it's important to understand that TOTS is mainly financed by the PAPA, or by the POP. And generally, the POP will hold the funds allocated to anybody until the very last second. In other words, well, we need a paycheck for this person or that person. It'll go through a TOTS administration panel, but it'll also go through the POP and the PALs, and depending on who hired them in and which account they used, is who will cut the ultimate check. But in the end, it all goes back to the POP.